here with junior Andrew Schulte. First off, you arrived at Concordia last fall after 1 year at Santa Ana College. What were the biggest things that you were looking for when you're in the process of transferring?
To be honest, just getting out of junior college was something I wanted to take advantage of. So when that opportunity presented itself, I took it.
So what was your experience like at Santa Ana?
It was not a good experience. It wasn't pleasant. Not because of the wrestling program or because of the coaching or anything like that, but because I didn't live in the area and I had to commute, and the traffic was awful. We didn't have the luxury of laundry, so I'd sit like in my dirty wrestling clothes on the way home in my car, and it was pretty gross. And I wouldn't get home till like 9 p.m. and I wouldn't have any time for homework or anything like that, so it was pretty tough.
Did you expect to go to the junior college route out of high school, or how did that end up working for you?
I can't say it's what I expected, but I mean, what choice did I have? So I had to go to junior college and make it happen.
So what was that like? I mean, what kind of work did you have to do your year there to make sure that you could transfer and get somewhere you
I'd
wanted
wake up
to be?
and I would go to my high school and I would train. My high school coach would let me use the weights, so I'd do that, and then I'd go to school, and then I spent most of the time at school, and then I'd be at wrestling practice kind of in the evening, and then at home.
So did you have some other influences then that really kind of steered you to it?
My high school wrestling coach was Randy Campbell. He's a really great man, great dude.
And what did he do that kind of inspired you to want to keep going with it?
I think he knew. I mean, there was a time my efforts were kind of terrible, and I think he always knew I was better than that, and he wouldn't let me forget it. So, it's kind of one of those things where he kind of kept me out of trouble, but he also kept me from, just being average, because he knew I was better than that. So he held me to a higher standard, I'd say.
So what was your high school career like? Was it something where you're just dominating people, or?
No, I mean, I had a good, decent record, and I think I achieved normal. I had, I won some big tournaments, but I didn't ever really achieve the things I wanted to achieve. I was a state qualifier, but I never won the state tournament.
How did that maybe motivate you once you got beyond high school?
Again, beyond high school, the motivation wasn't always winning something, but it was just not giving up with where I was, because I spent a year out of high school just working and not going to school or anything, so began to miss it and appreciate it. So then, I'm sorry, ask me the question again. How
did that motivate you? Just that you felt like maybe you hadn't reached your potential yet in high school.
Well, it was discouraging, so it wasn't that motivating, but the point was just that I wouldn't give up.
What was that year like? Were you just living at home then and going to a part-time kind of job, or during that year?
Exactly what I did.
Now that you've been at Concordia for more than a year, what about this place gives you comfort and makes you glad to be here?
My coach. I have a really good coach, Dana Vogt. I don't know if it's comfortable, but comfortable isn't always a good thing. But I do love this place. I do love the environment to work hard. I've said this before, you can't complain about opportunity at this school. You just can't, because having to go through what I did at Santa Ana College, there's nothing like having it all in one place.
Now, obviously, you didn't care about going far away from home because you made it all the way to Nebraska. What was the most difficult part of transitioning to being a student athlete here?
Transitioning to a student athlete here, Yeah, the culture shock wasn't that bad. Living on my own wasn't that bad. I'd say just balancing everything and being a student athlete, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. Just taking 16 units as opposed to 12 or whatever.
What was the recruiting process then like after you were looking to transfer, and how did Coach Vogt kind of win you over to wanting to come here?
Facebook, met me on Facebook. That was pretty funny. I didn't expect much, and I didn't know what other opportunities were going to present themselves, and I kind of I regret this in a sense, but I kind of sat on it for a while, and I was like, well, let me get back to you, but then I thought about it, and then I was like, I'd be foolish not to take this opportunity. And I even asked Coach Vogt, I was like, what is it you see, like, why me? Like, what is it you see in me? Like, why do you want? He just said, I just believe in you. So then that was enough for me.
So you went 20-4 here last year, All-American. Were you surprised by that kind of success that you're able to have right away?
No.
What did it take? I know you had to sit out the first semester after transferring. What did it take for you to get ready and be prepared to have that success?
Again, because it was so difficult from the year before, and I wouldn't even consider Santa Ana College a full wrestling season. So I think the biggest challenge was just achieving normal, and I know that sounds weird, but just achieving normal, training every day and going to school every day and doing the right things every day. So I just had to formulate all that.
Everybody has some sort of routine, I think, on the day that they're competing. How do you get yourself mentally ready the day of a duel or a tournament?
I'm pretty confident in my abilities, so I know that, and I know being cold has never done me any good, so I know a good warm-up is always the answer, because the hotter you are, the less you'll feel, the less you'll care about. So
you were part of a GPAC and NAI North Group champion right away.
Mm-hmm.
How much fun was it to be able to contribute to championships like that?
It was awesome. It was a really good feeling. It's an honor.
What are the 2015-16 Bulldogs capable of now, coming off a season like that?
I think we're capable of doing big things, doing great things. I think it's important that we don't coast off old accomplishments, and but still appreciate where we came from. But I know we're going to do big things this year. Guys are working really hard, and they're working really smart too. So I know we're going to be successful.
Yep. More specifically, what have you seen from your teammates that gives you confidence beyond just some of the hard work?
I would say, apart from last year, we were a little bit segregated in the beginning of the season. There wasn't too much unity. There wasn't, guys were in groups. We were on the same team, but we weren't really a team. But now I think everyone's kind of just coming together, and I think everyone is in agreement with what we want to do this year. So I think everyone's just working hard in general, because they know we all want the same thing.
A lot of us don't get to experience what it's like to compete at a national championship event. What was that moment like for you being in Topeka last year?
I haven't competed in an arena in a while since then, and it was nice. I try not to let it go to my head. I try to focus on appreciating the arena, but not so much getting caught up in just people being in the stands or whatever, just the distractions that come from being on a stage. But it really is kind of a testament to people who work hard deserve to be there, I think.
This is the last thing here. What are the most important goals that you have for yourself before you finish your career at Concordia?
Obviously, and you probably hear this a lot, but I want to be a national champion. That's the goal I have. You know, an undefeated season would be pretty sweet. Sometimes I watch our interview from last year after nationals, and my goal, you know, when I see how sad I look, just my face in general, is to just be better than that guy. You know, to achieve normal again and do a little bit extra to be better.
What would that moment be like, considering, like you said, in high school, you know, you qualified but didn't reach quite where you wanted to be, but to be able to have that kind of moment in college, how satisfying would that be?
It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be bittersweet. It's gonna be it's gonna make sense. It's gonna feel like I sacrificed hours and I traded, you know, a lot of other stuff, you know, to be number one in a moment's time. So it's just gonna be worth it. I think I'm gonna be really emotional, but that's